Hi there everyone, welcome to TAL and welcome to 1970. In the 1970s, VW started producing the Mk1 Golf in the Western Cape, replacing the Beetle. More than half of the parts were manufactured in South Africa, which made it so popular and cheap that the sales figures outdone the Beetle in a short amount of time. In the 80s, VW released the Mk2 Golf, but because of all the upgrades, it meant that the cost would be more, thus putting it out of reach for most consumers. They couldn't just bring the VW Polo in too, because the cost of setting up an entire new production line would still mean that the car would not be cheap enough. The answer was quite simple: continue producing the Mk1, because they already had all the tools, and rename it to the VW Citi Golf. Not to mention giving it a fresh new image that would appeal to the younger generations. This solution worked brilliantly, and thus began the start of a huge success story. You'll notice I'm in a little bit of a different setting today. I'm actually at work and we've traded this thing in, so I don't have a lot of time, maybe about 30-45 minutes, and I decided let me do a video on this thing because people in South Africa love this thing. It's a Citi Golf, or for those of you that are not South African, it's a Mk1 Golf, produced until 2009 in South Africa. You might think, oh, why? Doesn't make sense, but it's true. Let me show you some resemblances between this and the Mk1 Golf before we carry on with the video, shall we? If we just look, I mean, come on. Do I really need to say so much? You can see this is a car made in the 70s. It's the classic front four lights, the nice little 13-inch tires. Oh, and by the way, disc brakes in the front, and then the ones in the back, look at that. Those, oh, you can't really see it. Those are drum brakes. Beautiful. Oh, by the way, this car is actually a 2006 model, manufactured in 2006. It's a Chico. If I just walk around, I mean, you can see it's boxy. It's got the typical Mk1 lights. Boot is typical hatchback. Press the button, the thing opens up. Oh, and no such thing as, you know, remotes and whatnot. We've got a few keys. You put the key in there, you turn it, you press it, and then look at that. Come on. Oh, and no headrests on the rear seat because in 1970s, I mean, who cares? Put that down. And oh yes, make sure to lock it up. South Africa. You can just see it's so old school. It's so classic, you know. People love them. You think I'm exaggerating? People in South Africa go mad over these things for many reasons. They're cheap, practical, used for racing, lots and lots of reasons which I've just explained with a nice little montage with voiceovers. So I think that's enough showing the car to you. Let me take it for a drive and see what I think of it. Alright, let's start this thing up. It's a bit hot right now. Try again, hold on. She's alive. This mirror feels like nothing. I'm gonna leave the throttle. There we go. Citi Golf Live. So, like I said, this car's carbureted, so no fuel injection system. So when you start it up on a little hot day, or if it's a cold start, you might need to give it a little bit of petrol just before you can get going. Let's see how this thing feels on the road, shall we? I am driving a car from the 1970s. Okay, so where do I start? 1970, I don't know, a long time ago. They came out with the Golf Mk1, and here it is today. This car is actually a 2006 model VW Citi Golf, and sitting inside driving it, you can hear rattles, you can hear shakes. It's an old car. You can hear the gearbox when you put it in second, third, fourth. That's the charm of the car. You can feel it's old because inside it feels boxy as well. You can see I have so much of space, there's so much of room for me to move around. But you know what, start to look around, you realize that this is number one, a budget car, number two, super old. No electric windows. We've got these wind downs which, you know, keep you healthy. No air conditioning, no electric mirrors, 2000 into third. Oh goodness, this thing. It's actually not too bad on power. This is the 1.4 carburetor. It makes about 54 kilowatts, 72 horsepower, and 108 Newton meters of torque. And this car weighs under 900 kilograms. So they say 0 to 100 in under 12 seconds, around 11 and a half, and the top speed around 156 kilometers per hour for a boxy car from the 1970s. It's not bad at all. It's very bumpy and shaky. If the footage is a bit shaky, you understand why. I don't have a lot of time to retake. I have about 45 minutes to this entire video, so just bear with me. And you can see I'm smiling, so this car has some charm to it. Otherwise, I wouldn't really be smiling. Put it in reverse, we hit it right down, and it doesn't want to go away too. There we go, it's in. It's okay. There we go. 5-speed gearbox also. It's not bad. It doesn't really weigh anything. Its steering is, it's okay. You take corners, you bounce around a little. It's just, it's fun. It's charming. And the reason South Africans love it so much is because it's very cheap. I mean, this car brand new is about 70 grand. They haven't really lost value. This car is 13 years old and it's still 50, 60 grand. So it's still up there. People love them because, well, they're very cheap to maintain. Parts are very easily available and the cars are very easy to work on. If anything breaks, parts not going to cost too much. And if you have a basic knowledge of engines and, reworking things, unlike me, not at all like me, then you've got a pretty good reliable car, and they're just quite reliable anyway. They even made a small pickup version of this thing, believe it or not. They call it a caddy. That's an interesting one to see. So South Africans love this car because it's cheap, easy to maintain, cheap to fix, and very easy to steal. So you notice I'm driving more higher speeds, open roads, because I'm afraid to get hijacked, and this is a Citi Golf, so yeah, odds are not in my favor of being safe. Just keep that in mind. But I honestly see what people mean when they love these cars. Like, there are die-hard fans in South Africa for these cars, because I know lots of people that love these things. They take them because of the light body, strip them out with bigger engines, take them racing. Actually, lots of people do that, and they really love them, and they handle well because no weight. So people, there's a bit of a ridiculous cult going around that's always been there that worship these cars, and I see what they're on about. The car has charm to it. It has nice character to it, and it's rattly like a Citi Golf should be. Coming into a bend now, second gear. It rolls about. It rolls about a bit, but that's part of the charm. And it's actually really practical. I mean, we've still got 5 seats, and because it's a box, it's not bad for small cars compared to small cars today. This car has more space back in the boot and in the back seats. You'd be surprised at how practical this car is to use. People just love this thing too much. And I rev match this thing. Oh shit, the brakes. Oh my god. Shit. Oh god. What makes this one of the best cars going around in town is another Citi Golf just opposite me. The 1.4 litre engine in this one, you get the 1.4, 1.6. They're all pretty light on fuel. I mean, this car's average fuel consumption claims around 8 litres per 100 k's, which is pretty light, It's really not bad at all. You can run on 95, 93, 91. Some Castle Light, if you'd feel it would probably run on that. I feel happy driving this car. This is generally day-to-day basis. This is what this car is going to be used for. Commuting around in town, just using it, not for anything specific, just to get from point A to point B. And it's just so happy to do that. This car's got 224,000 Ks. honestly, if you look after it, you can do many more kilometers with it, and it will happily do it. It's a sweet little car. It's got a charm to it, you know. That's why people love them so much. So I don't know, I'm falling in love with it. Not my kind of car, let's be honest, because you know, front wheel drive, but I see what people go on about when they go mad for this thing. It's got a charm to it. Small, nappy, it's sweet, it's got problems like any car, and it's genuinely an old car. It's like a G-Wagon, although it's not ridiculously overpriced. This is the Citi Golf. If you'd be okay with living life on the edge in South Africa, as in being ready to get hijacked any moment, this is the car for you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.